Thank y'all for tuning back into your favorite channel, Pelican Bay K9s, giving it to you the way I always do. Fair and unbiased. Some gonna like it, some ain't. Man, y'all hit that subscribe button. If you haven't subscribed yet, don't forget to hit that like button. Don't forget to drop down in the comments and salute to all the brothers and sisters down in the chat right now. Salute to all the brothers and sisters down in the chat. Salute to all the brothers and sisters from one side of the country to the other side of the country, from one side of the world to the other side of the world. We about to get into that dog talk today. I got a special guest with me today. We about to get into some of that real dog talk. We about to talk about some of that that Carolina blood today. You know what I'm saying? And the thing about it, I'm just gonna leave it as my special guest. You know what I'm saying? You don't need to know who you're talking to. Just know we talking that bulldog talk today. You know what I'm saying? How you doing today, my brother?
Hey, what's going on, bro?
Ain't too much. Ain't too much. How your day was?
Boy, I've been waiting all day for this. Man, listen, I've been in the back shadows watching, man, and listening, and you know, part of some stipulations from years back. If I'm talking about. I just tried to stay away for a while, and I just, man, I just can't keep quiet no more, man.
I feel you on that, man. I feel you on that. Hey, so we can go ahead and get that thing started then. Let me ask you, man, how you got started in the dogs?
All right, so originally I got my first dog back home outside of Philadelphia, off of some of that Bulletin blood, some of that alley cat kennels, which is uh, old Hall's blood, and I came down here, and to be honest with you, did a little bit of hog hunt, got my ass whipped by some of these good old red boy dogs down here, and shit. I moved down here and met some good people and got into some good dogs, and I stayed and just developed from there.
I hear you on that. I hear you on that. Yeah. So what lines did you prefer, back before you got the red boy? Start dealing with that.
I was running a lot of the handicap stuff. I was running a little bit of bolio stuff, and I actually came down here and linked up with old Pitbull Rick back in the day. God bless the dead, Rick and Nella, and Wee Willie from. I don't know if you from South Carolina. I don't know if you know any
Yeah.
cat, but linked up with them and ran a little bit of some other stuff. I was a fan of the blackjack stuff, and I just ventured out and ended up into what I thought was the good yellow stuff. But it was good stuff. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I'm not gonna talk bad about the blood, but it's just the way you never knew what you were gonna get, and that was the problem. You know what I
Okay.
mean? And
Okay.
I love the blood to this day.
Okay. Now the statement you just made,
Yeah,
it helped me ask the next question.
I
Now you
figured it
now,
would.
you said when it comes to that yellow stuff, you never know what you're gonna get. So
No, let me rephrase that. Let me rephrase that. If you went Carl Cruz way, you knew what you were gonna get. Okay.
yeah,
A lot of people don't like. I'm not gonna say they didn't like Carl Cruz. A lot of people, when Carl and David split, David Tant split, it was. A lot of people think that they disliked each other, and man, they really truly didn't, because on the weekends, man, them boys would sit back like good old boys and just crack jokes, play, drink, smoke the cigars, play poker till, I mean, god dang, you start on a Friday, be end on a Sunday, but man, they were still best of friends when most people thought, David and Carl were against each other after the split, but the problem with it was the dishonesty after the split.
yeah,
Carl. I think that's what played a big part in Carl not doing as much as what he was doing. I mean, he did. Some people swear to his stuff, the burn stuff and all that, but you know, it's just like I said. It depends which route you went. It depends if David fuck with you, if he didn't, or uh,
yeah,
uh, and I hate to say it, but it mattered if you were black or white. When you touched on that, listen, I was sitting on the couch and I didn't even know about none of your stuff, and I
yeah.
stumbled upon it. And I'm telling you, my girl was even sitting right there. And I said, "Bro, the man just touched on something that I've been battling for years, not saying nothing about." And you, that show you did, I watched it and recorded, I mean, and rewinded it and watched it and rewinded it, and bro, I feel like an asshole for not even saying something before that. But the position that I was in, living there and taking care of his dogs, and I hate to say it, and basically, you know, being told what I could and couldn't do. I know that
Yeah.
might sound like like a bitch thing, but you know how it is. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh
You know
yeah,
what I'm
man.
saying? You
Shit.
were either in with them boys or you weren't.
Oh
You
yeah.
know what
Oh
I mean?
yeah.
So it's crazy, but that you inspired me to say something. That's why I reached out to who I reached out to get in touch with you, because I know you have a lot of you had a lot of questions in there, and I just wanted to touch on
Hey,
those questions. You know what I
and
mean?
and and speaking on the same thing that we speaking on now. Like that's what I was saying. Like when it comes to uh everybody else dealing with him, I can't really say what everybody else got, but I feel like if it was somebody who was close to him or something, maybe they did get a dog off that or something. I don't know. Maybe you could clear it up.
All right, check this out. And I hope I don't offend anybody by what I'm about to say, because this had nothing to do with me, but it's what I seen. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah,
You
give us
know,
the real, man. Give us the
all right,
real.
as of everybody knows. Okay, let me ask you a question. When
Go
did
ahead.
when is your portrayal? I mean, is your belief of when Grand Champion Yellow died? You're gonna say 94, right?
Yep, 92, 94.
Okay, nobody. That's the big questions. The book say, what is it? September of '94, I believe it is. September
Yeah,
9th, isn't it? Okay, well, let me tell you this, and I'm gonna start by saying this, and I hope to God somehow he hears or somebody anyway. But listen, so a lot of people think that Yellow was buried over by. He had his dog down on County Line Road, which is outside of Charleston. Okay,
yeah,
and there's the way his yard was. I don't know if you ever seen it, been there, but all his dogs were in one area with a big a garage, a shed type situation, a house out front, a pond, everything like that. Well,
yeah,
if you're on the dog yard facing the road, the pond is straight in front of you. There's azaleas and rose bushes that are planted to the left that he portrays that that's where Yellow's buried, which is not true. But the true place that he's buried, and I know there's only a couple people that know, has the actual mark on it. The dog actually died in April of '92. It's not June of '90. I mean, it's not September '94. I've seen it. Dude, I picked weeds around it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know the actual. He did that for reasons of he was so scared that somebody was going to come try to dig the dog up and get DNA, because DNA was going so crazy these days where you can scrape a bone, get this. So the man was so scared of that, so he always fed a line of shit.
yeah,
He always told Carl where Yellow was buried. But to be honest with you, the dog that's in that actual grave where they think it is not. David originally put Yellow there, but is now replaced with 2 or 3 days later was replaced with one of Yellow's offspring. So the
mm,
dog that's in there is not Yellow.
yeah,
Yellow is buried on. I'm not gonna call no names. It is buried on one of his wives' family's property, and so anyway, getting into that, myself, the girl that I was seeing at the time, like I said, I'm not gonna mention no names, and a certain person. I asked you about a kennel name earlier before we got on the interview. If you knew a
yeah,
person, okay. So all three of us come down here. Well, I was on the yard, and we picked puppies out the pen. It was
yeah,
supposed to be off. It was supposed to be off a AAA bred to his sister.
mm,
Okay, so we all pick a puppy out the pen. I get my female. They get males. There's two males and a female. Well, 4 weeks later, we get our papers, and every set of papers is different.
mm,
One of them's off a Bob, one of them's off a AAA, and one of them's off a Red Devil. But see, what people don't realize is Red Devil's been stolen for years. I ain't gonna call them names, like I said, but a certain person in Virginia came down here and stole that dog. I know anybody that knows that there was speculation years back that certain person was able to get the dog. And David always said, "Nah, he didn't get it. I still got it." Bullshit. The dogs that he was saying was off of Red Devil was not. They were all, everything was bred off of AAA. I don't care
and,
what he told you, or not you, but it told you, unless a person came down here and specifically seen the breeding done, everything was bred to AAA.
Hey, and that'll make sense to why Red Devil puppies throwing off black colored dogs
They're
now.
all black colored dogs. Please tell me how red nosed dog is throwing off black colored dogs like that.
Yep.
Please tell me that. But AAA being a brindle dog, black nosed brindle dog, heavy Jocko side. You know what I'm saying? The Jocko traits. I get that.
Mm-hmm.
But you're breeding red nosed dogs to red nosed dogs, but you're getting black. It's just yeah.
Yeah.
Red Devil's been gone. He bred everything. Yeah, Bob, man, listen, and listen. I wish there was a way you could hear me about how much of a piece of shit he is. But listen, Bob made that man so much money. I don't know. Have you ever seen any pictures of Bob or anything like that?
Nope.
Okay, so Bob was a big dog, catch weight dog, and the reason his name was Bob was because David cut his tail off after the puppy was born to distinguish it from anything else. So his name was Bob for the bobtail.
Yeah.
Okay. So Bob got up in age, all right, and Bob was something was going on with Bob. He wasn't shut up or something like that. He was back there raising hell, but the dog was old. You know what I'm saying? The dog done made the man so much money. Blah blah blah. Bro, I came back there, and I ain't gonna speak on it. But let me just tell you, when I tell you a person that does a certain thing like dirty, bro. Just the things that this man did was just I mean, it would make you not even want to respect him as a dog, man. You feel what I'm saying?
That,
Like,
yeah. Yeah.
and I don't want to talk on that on your show. You feel what I'm saying? And draw any kind of like public, I don't want to say anything out of the way, but yeah, everything yellow. I know for a fact. I know where Yellow's born. I mean, buried. I mean, unless the man done dug him up again, but I was with the man. We fell out. Um, we originally fell out over that paper deal for the first time. When myself, the girl, and the person from that was actually showing his dogs, if you get what I'm saying, out of Florida, he was going hard with them, and
Yeah.
he was doing pretty well. But the things that I've seen, I'm watching, and when I tell you and I know you're going to understand this one. There are
Yeah.
some very very famous people that have come down there. We all know that.
Yeah.
The speculation with Michael and Marcus. You get what I'm saying? All
Mm-hmm.
them people.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'm gonna tell you this: if you were one of them type of people, and you were, and don't take this wrong, and you were black, he did what he had to do. But if you were just somebody that was a nobody that called him up, there was 2 or 3 local breeders within. Everybody says the SPCA. No, no, no. David was
Mm.
anti-SPCA. I will say that. He's always been against it. You know what I mean? Whatever. There were some very local people. One of them being a female. Actually, she passed away. Miss Graves. I'll say that because she's gone. She passed away of cancer. Miss Annette Graves. Have you heard of her?
No. No. Mm-mm.
Okay. She. A lot of the dogs that he purchased for the sales to people that weren't of his type. I'm just gonna say it like that.
Yeah.
That's what he did. He would buy whole litters. He would put them in a yard, literally right behind his yard. Okay, the road right before you get to him, if you're coming from 17, there was another road to cut off. There was another yard right there that a lot of people didn't know about, that he always kept puppies, 6-month-old dogs, because you know how he sold his dogs. Puppies were 1,000 to 1,500. 6 months
Yeah.
old, you were paying 225. You know what I mean? But
Mm-hmm.
he always kept stuff back there. So when people of not his type would want to purchase stuff from him, that's what he would do.
Mm.
And a lot of them were black dogs. People didn't realize that you can distinguish a good yellow dog just by how the dog's built.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? If it their giveaway is the rib cage. You know what I'm saying? If most Red Boy Jocko does it, that rib cage ain't down to his elbows. You get what I'm saying?
Yep. Yep.
And if you looked at a lot of dogs that he was selling to people that weren't his type, were shallow-ended dogs. They were longer. They didn't have the typical yellow ears. I mean, it was just bullshit. And we fell out over the paper deal. We fell out over that. I left him, and I can't say that. I don't say the other person. I left them in Tennessee over some bullshit like that. I
Damn.
was, we were watching a hog hunt, and I actually heard him use the N word in the middle of it. He okay, so while they were hog hunting, David was famous for yelling things in the middle. You know what I'm saying? Oh, grab that hog because he's about to whatever. And the person
Yeah.
was doing it, and you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He was winning shows technically.
Mm-hmm.
Well, when he was like, well, grab a hold, you dumb N word. I just looked at him like, there's two black people in this whole place, and there's 100 old white men. And I'm not knocking because back in the day, that's a lot of what they were good old boys, whatever. I'm not knocking them, but when I started to see that, it started pulling me further away because I'm from up north. We don't. I ain't gonna say it ain't up there, but man, we see people for people.
Yeah. Yeah.
And when I started seeing those traits, I started to back off. I started to see the main thing is when he makes his guarantee, and then you end up seeing these same people, to come by the dog. You see them again in 15, 16 months, wanting to know, hey, what the hell's going on? This ain't what it's supposed to be. And I always took notice that you might see one or two white guys bring a dog back, but you'd see almost every one of you know not his type people bringing dogs back under question. And what would he do? He'd give him another puppy. So guess what? They'd raise it another 15, 16 months. It wouldn't be what it was. And he'd give him another one. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah. Yeah.
that was, the people were happy because they thought, hey, but I'm telling you, bro, the man, not only, the hanging the papers, not only the racist part, but I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to speak on this personally. Okay.
Yeah.
I was there literally the day that shit happened in 2004. Okay,
Yeah.
the whole thing that went down, I was there all the way down to. But it was the scariest day of my life. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, so when everything came down, I'm sitting there denying everything. Like I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Blah blah blah. And bro, let me tell you, this man had hidden cameras and the smoke detectors in the house of where I was living. He had
Damn.
pictures. Listen, he had pictures of my mom in her yard. He had anytime me and my girl had any type of relations, if you get what I'm saying, it was recorded. Anytime I picked up the landline, it was recorded. The bathroom had a camera in it. Anytime that anything was ever done to see the potential was written down to detail of me and such and such, such and such and such and such for such and such amount of time. For everything was written in detail. Every time somebody came and bought a dog from him was logged. When they bought it, what they did. You know what I'm saying? So the man built a case on himself. You get what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
anybody else involved with him.
Damn.
You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And I personally, he violated me personally because I can get to listening to phone calls to make sure I'm not, trying to get nothing from him or, anything like that. But when you go to the extent of having hidden cameras in my house, you know what I'm saying? Like, well, it's his house, but, on the dog yard, when you get to stuff like that,
Yeah.
that kicks you in the gut. You got pictures of my kids. You know what I mean? My kids running around playing out in the yard. My mom coming to visit. You got pictures of them. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Shit, you could have pressed some kind of criminal charges about that probably.
yeah, but you know what? I'm one of those just
Oh yeah, I feel you.
you
I
feel
feel
what
you.
I'm saying? Like I don't want no. I'll put it to you like this. Now that you say that, I'm gonna say this. So he actually and the neighbor actually called. He actually slapped the girl that I was with at the time. Left the puppy pen open, and one of the puppies got out and went over to one of the dogs and got grabbed. You know what I'm saying? Didn't I mean it got got ear cut or something like that. But he walks up and just slaps her, right? That
Damn.
now David's a big dude for those who don't know him. David's 6'2", maybe 6'2". And at that time he was upwards of 260, 270 pounds. He's a big big dude. But so he slaps her in the driveway. And the
Damn.
neighbor sees it. Yeah, the neighbor sees it. Neighbor calls the law. The law all comes, and I'm like, oh, freaking out. But anyway, long story short, we didn't even at that point. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, everything's good. It's an accident. So we didn't. But But the personal level shit was what really sealed the deal. I don't hate people. I don't never ever ever say I hate people, but there's one person that I do hate. I hate for what he's did in the